Hello and welcome to Arts and Crafts with Steve McDonald. New videos every Sunday and sometimes midweek. Today I'm going to be using alcohol inks to paint a butterfly. So firstly I cut my shape of my butterfly out of some what we call sticky back plastic, Fablon or back adhesive backed clear plastic. As you can see, I'm now struggling because I've only just cut my fingernails to get it apart. And the reason I'm doing this is actually I don't want the background anywhere near where the butterfly is going to be. So this will mask or block out what I do with the background. When you're cutting this out, I always draw it first with a Sharpie, and then I always go over it with a hairdryer to ensure I warm up the glue on the back, and then with a cloth to ensure a really good seal. It does make a real big difference actually. Rather than just putting it on cold, and that way you can easily get any bubbles out that are underneath and ensure that all your edges are still adhered to the UPO paper. So there we go, that's it. When it's been finished, you will sometimes get one or two little bleeds, but nothing major. So I'm applying Baja Blue now that I've mixed in two separate bottles. One is quite a lot weaker than the other, just to give a contrast, and then I'm putting some neat Baja Blue over the top of that, and I'm going to use my hairdryer to blend it in because I want quite a wispy, cloudy kind of sky-like background for this. And as you can see, it is repelling off where I have put the butterfly. You'll see that more once it comes off. So there we go. Now, I've got quite a lot of ink on the piece of brown paper that I've covered my Lazy Susan with, so I'm just using that to give it a bit of texture. And now I'm going over the bits where I feel it's too heavy colour, and to ensure that I don't actually have lines down the side of the UPO paper. So I'm now going over it with a bit of scrunched up paper, just where I've poured some blending solution. That's my own homemade blending solution. You can see that on another video how I made that, and just giving it that little bit of texture. The other thing I'm also doing is ensuring I'm getting the alcohol ink dry over where the butterfly is, because I don't want to stick my fingers all over that and then end up putting it in the UPO paper where I want it white. Now, I'm not wearing gloves here, as you can see, which was a bit of a mistake on my part, because I've got a lot of blue ink on my hands at the end of the day, and it's taken a whole week to get off. So now I'm peeling off the sticky back plastic, or the Fablon, and as you can see, it's left a really nice clear, apart from one little bit, clear butterfly on top of that that blue background. So this is a Sharpie, where I'm going around the edges with the Sharpie and filling it in. And now I've got a finer permanent ink, alcohol ink again, marker, just for a couple of the finer details. Now what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be actually painting in, I'm just clearing up that little bit of blue. I told you it does bleed sometimes, but not much, as you can see. Very little had bled through. And you can do these silhouettes quite easily with anything. You don't have to just do butterflies. So now I'm going to go in with that fine, which has dried out a little bit, so I popped a bit of alcohol ink on the nib, and draw in the details. Ready to paint. This was a bit time consuming, but at least it gives me an idea of where I'm going to have my red paint, because this is going to be a red butterfly, and the types of shapes that I'm going to have. So I'm just trying to match up the left and right sides so they're very similar, because as you know, butterflies do have their wings are very similar both sides. This is an idealized style of butterfly, really. It's not an exact replica of a butterfly. So there we go, just tidying a bit up there where I felt that that line was a bit too thick with a micro brush, just cleaning it off a bit with a bit of alcohol. And that's the beauty of doing it like this. You can change the shapes that you're gonna use. I'm now mixing up some red, and that will be chili pepper red from the Pinata range, and I'm filling in the areas that I want to be red with a very fine paintbrush. Now, as you can see from this message I've put up, actually what I should have done was I should have just painted the wings solidly in red and then gone over it with the fine markers in black and the Sharpie in black to put the details in. I think it would have been a lot easier and possibly a lot quicker. But I really didn't think about that until I was come to editing this video. So, you know, that's the great thing about videos. That's the great thing I like about having videos and making my own videos and watching my own stuff backwards. I see so much that I've done that I like, and I see things that I think I could have done that so much better. So, you know, I would advise everybody, if you get the chance to record yourself. So now I'm putting in the more details with the black Sharpie around on all the wings. And it is looking quite nice at this point in time, I think. But it is still looking a little bit flat. So, I've got a white paint pen here. I'm going through and I'm putting some white on here as well. Just a few highlights and a bit of pattern down the edges and around the wings. And this white has gone on quite brighter white, but as it dries, it tones down a little bit. But you can get pens that will stay as bright as this as well. So if that's the effect that you like. So just going through it now. Both sides to give it symmetry. And what I have found is the harder you push on these little ink pens, actually the less ink comes out. If you do a light stroke on it, then the ink flows really, really nicely, and it's easier to use. So there we go. Putting a bit there on his abdomen. And putting just some little bit more detail on the wings. And what I've realised is I'd like a little bit more red here in the top of the butterfly wing. So I'm stripping out some of that black just to break it up and put a little bit more red in there. And I do the same this side as well. Now, what I think would have happened if I'd have had the red ink on first rather than put the veins in first, actually I probably wouldn't have forgotten about that and I would have kept them in. So now I'm just stripping it back a little bit and you'll see me pop some red in. And what I like about this silhouette touch, it really does, by using this plastic to make this silhouette first, it really does give quite a nice, almost like a 3D effect. When this is in the living room in a frame, it almost looks like it's backlit, and the butterfly's standing out, really standing out on the from the background. So in with my little fine brush now, just putting a tiny bit of black around these red bits that I've just put in. Finishing that off nicely, just a few other bits where I think I just need it a little bit more solid. And there we go, that's the butterfly on a blue background, and I feel that does stand out quite well, and that's it in its frame, and as you can see what I mean there by it standing out. So thank you for watching. I always appreciate everybody watching. Please like and subscribe, and please leave a comment. I love the comments. Thank you. Bye.